Hello, this is LaShawn, the Social Butterfly, and today I am talking about effective parenting strategies. This is actually part two, so you must subscribe to my YouTube channel in order to view strategy number one. So for this particular segment, I'm going to talk about 3 points. I'm going to try to make sure that I hit on 3 points each time that I actually prepare a video. So for this video, I'm going to talk about healthy living, and the 3 points that I'm actually going to hit on today are being active physically, being actively involved in your choices of food for yourself as well as your family, and then financial fitness as well. So overall, I'm going to talk about being fit. So being active. One of the things that we all need to make sure that we're aware and conscious of is making sure that we're active physically, making sure that we're getting at least 30 minutes a day of some cardio exercise, whether that's taking a walk in the neighborhood, whether that is getting on a treadmill, elliptical, jump roping. You don't have to be a member of a gym in order to be active. But the important part is being active with your family. So again, like I said in video number one, I have 4 children that range from ages 9 all the way up to 21. And I make sure that we are all very active. Again, we are all very different. We like different activities. We get our workout in very differently. So for me, I'm an avid runner. So I typically run or get on a I either run outside or I get on a treadmill if I'm actually at a gym or the elliptical machine. My daughter Reagan, who is an avid swimmer, she normally will swim or she likes to bike. My son Jonathan loves basketball, so he's typically inside the gym playing basketball, whether it's one-on-one or he may play 3-on-3 with some other guys that are actually in the gym. David likes to lift weights as well as swim. He used to be on a swim team as well, so he participates in water sports or he's in there lifting weights. And Taylor, who used to be a competitive cheerleader, she loves doing core exercises. She'll get on a treadmill about 15-20 minutes before she actually hits the gym, so she'll lift some weights as well as tone. And so my whole purpose is being active and making sure that not only do I tell my kids to be active, I'm active as well. So the whole family knows that at least 3 days a week, we're going to be in the gym for 3 hours. And sometimes they want to go, sometimes they don't. It's really not an option because I want them to make it a part of their daily routine. If they're at the gym, they will find things to do. Sometimes Jonathan will get bored with playing basketball, so he'll transition over and see some guys playing in the racquetball room. He'll participate in racquetball, which is good because now he has been introduced to a whole new sport. And so being active really helps our body. Is preventive maintenance. If we're healthy, our bodies are able to fight for itself if we get some type of disease, or if something happens to our bodies don't have to fight off high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, gout, all these other diseases that can attack our body. If we work out and if we eat healthy, which is going to be my next point, then our bodies are able to do what it's designed to do. And that's what God wants for us. God wants us to take care of our bodies. Our bodies are a temple of God, and so we always need to be mindful of that, and we need to take care of it. And plus, we want to look good and we want to feel good. Nothing is worse than putting on an outfit that you don't feel good in. So we need to make sure that our bodies are a temple and that we look good and feel good for ourselves and that we are healthy. My next point is making sure that you and your family eat well. So I make sure that my kids know and understand what all the fruits and vegetables are, how they impact our bodies. And another thing that I always do when we walk into a grocery store and they pick something up, they always look at the calorie count. How much protein is in it? How much sugar is in it? So I make them aware of what they're eating and putting into their bodies. And I always tell them, let's shop around the perimeter of the grocery store because those are healthy items. Things that are on the inside are processed foods. So let's try to minimize that and increase what we get from the outer aisles of the store, the fruits and vegetables, the meats. Now, I stopped eating meat. The only meat I eat is chicken, and I think I'm kind of scaling back from the chicken because I don't like the way that it makes my body feel. So it's very dependent on you, your dietary concerns or needs. But for me, I don't eat meat. But I do cook some lean meat. So I don't cook pork or beef. So I cook a lot of chicken, a lot of fish, a lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables. A lot of kids don't know what other vegetables are. They may know what corn, broccoli, carrots are. But do they know what zucchini is? Do they know what squash is? Do they know what an eggplant is? Our kids need to be aware that there are so many other vegetables that they are not introduced to that's good, that's nutritional and good for their bodies. So we need to try to introduce our kids to new fruits and vegetables often. Take them to the farmer's market. Let them try something new and different. Look up recipes together that will be healthy and beneficial for the kids. Reagan loves to cook, so she's always on the internet looking for new recipes to cook. In the fall months, I do a lot of crock pot cooking. So what can we throw in a crock pot that we can eat and be healthy so that when we come home, we can already have dinner prepared? I may only have to cook or saute some vegetables or cook some rice or some pasta as a side. So you need to make sure that you're eating healthy with your kids and that your kids are aware of other fruits and vegetables that they haven't been introduced to. And then my last point in terms of being fit is being financially fit. So making sure that you provide your kids with financial and budgeting information that's age appropriate that they can understand. So when you go into a store, you give them money, and as they want things, you talk to them. Can you afford that? Well, what can you do to afford it? Or does that fit within your budget? Okay, you know what your budget is. You know what your allowance is. Now, is this something that is worthwhile for you to spend on? Is it something you want to save up for? So you need to make your kids more conscious and more aware of what they're spending, how often they're spending, and how much things cost, so that they can have awareness that, one, money doesn't grow on trees, that in order to eat, you got to work. And so doing chores around the house, making that additional income, and what can they do to make sure that they're always on track in terms of their budget. I always tell them that your accounts cannot go up under $40. You just can't, because in case of emergency, if you need something, you need to be able to go and make that purchase. If they break something, I say, hey, that's going to come out of your budget. And all it is making them better financial managers, making sure that they're financially fit and that they are conscious of what things cost and the thought process that goes into spending. So they want to go out to dinner. How much do you think that's going to cost? Okay, this is our budget for entertainment. If we go to this restaurant, this is how it's going to impact. So that means that next week or the week after that, we don't have any entertainment money. So just making sure our kids are more conscious of spending, what goes into budgeting, and how much things cost is always effective, because as they get older, you give them more responsibility, more financial responsibility, help them develop a budget for themselves. So like for Taylor and David, I had a full-blown session on budgeting because they're in college. Budgeting strategies, how to save, the type of things that I save for. I showed them my spreadsheet for the month, showed them the thought process and talk them through the thought process that I go into as I'm considering certain investments or certain purchases. And so having those type of conversations that are age appropriate for your kids helps them remain financially fit. So those are my 3 tips for effective parenting for this week. Those 3 are being active physically, making sure that you implement an active routine for you and your family based on your budget. Like I stated in the video, you do not have to be a member of a gym. You can jump rope, you can do jumping jacks, you can take a walk around the park, you can do something collectively as a family, you can have a fitness challenge as a family, whether that's how many squats, how many sit-ups, how many push-ups, and you can do something as a family. But everything you do, try to do it as a family so you can model the behavior. My second point was around food, making sure that your kids are aware of what they're putting into their bodies, teaching them how to read labels before they actually consume. You would not believe how many calories are in a honey bun. Jonathan loves honey buns, but when I showed him how many calories are in a honey bun opposed to how many are in a granola bar, and he absolutely loves granola bars, it made him more aware of what he's putting into his body, and he knows that his body is a temple. So he wants as little processed calories as possible. So making sure our kids know and understand how to read labels, as well as introducing new fruits and vegetables to their diet. And then the last point is being financially fit, making sure that your kids know and are aware of how to handle money, how to respect money, and what things cost, and how to budget age appropriately. So again, if you have any recommendations or tips that you would like me to talk about, or if you have any that you want to talk about, let me know and we can partner together. Again, this is LaShawn, the Social Butterfly, and if you want to get in contact with me, you can hit me on my YouTube channel or LaShawnOverton.com. Thank you and have a blessed week.